Hello and welcome to this short recorded session on mentor training. This session should take no more than 10 minutes to watch. In this session, we hope you'll find out more about the impact of the ITT market review on mentoring, statutory requirements for mentor training, including refresher training in Year 2, Ambition's mentor curriculum, how we're taking prior experience into account, and the General Mentor Grant. So in 2021, the government commissioned a market review of initial teacher training. The expert advisory group made a number of recommendations, many of which were taken on board by the DfE and became the quality requirements for ITT providers. These apply to providers like Ambition, who are accredited to deliver ITT from September 24. Now, some of these recommendations were specifically around mentoring, and they aim to elevate the role of the mentor and strengthen the offer for trainees. For example, the new requirement for all trainees to receive a minimum entitlement of 1.5 hours a week of mentor support. And the market review has also led to the creation of a new role, the lead mentor, and it also made specific recommendations around the training of mentors. So the DfE says that mentor training should build mentors' knowledge and understanding of the ITT curriculum and the evidence that underpins it. And it should also prepare mentors for their role in guiding and supporting trainees through that curriculum. The DfE also sets a minimum number of hours for initial training of mentors, and that figure is 20 hours. Although there is some flexibility here to take into account mentors' prior knowledge and experience. And on this, the DfE says that mentors' prior experience should be taken into account and that providers may offer shortened or adapted training courses where appropriate. And you can talk to your lead partner about how they are approaching this. It might be that your mentors have already attended Ambition's ECT training, in which case they can be exempted from some of our pre-conference modules on the science of learning. And your lead partner should also be able to offer an adapted training course for more experienced mentors. For example, enrolling them on a module on advanced rather than basic instructional coaching. So what is covered on Ambition's mentor training program? This is the training that mentors will complete before the start of the program, ideally by the 13th of September. And I'm going to give you a moment to read this. This training will be delivered by your lead partner, and they will be in touch with you about the dates that they are running training. Certain modules focus on the structure of the Ambition course, while others expose mentors to important underpinning theory, for example, around the science of learning or motivation. And at Ambition, we split training into work that's done before a face-to-face session, pre-conference work, and work that is done after a face-to-face session, post-conference work. Now, pre-conference and post-conference modules will all be delivered to mentors via StepLab. And you'll notice here that a number of modules are highlighted in yellow. And this is where there'll be an opportunity to shorten or adapt training based on a mentor's prior experience. As you might have noticed, the training here does not add up to 20 hours. That's because some mentor training will be done over the course of the year, whilst the mentor is working with the trainee. And your lead partner will be running some twilight sessions in autumn and spring terms, and they'll be in touch with you about exactly when these are happening. You'll also notice here at the bottom that mentors will do 10 minutes a week of mentor training, and that will take place across the year. I actually think this is one of the most exciting parts of our mentor training. Each week, mentors will do 10-minute bursts of training, and these will be delivered through our learning management system, StepLab. Now, these have been designed to support mentors to understand the planned curriculum and to align their coaching conversations with the content of weekly modules. This weekly training will provide mentors with a summary of the weekly module, the module principles, a description of what trainees should know and what they should be able to do by this point in the course. It will cover possible misconceptions and finally suggested in-school cohesion activities for the trainee. Often on teacher training courses, mentors have little knowledge of what the trainees are studying with their tutors. And our weekly mentor training, alongside prompts on StepLab for mentors, which will allow them to direct conversations so that they're covering similar content to weekly clinics, both help to tackle this problem. So, lots of great training for schools, but how will schools be recompensed for release time here? Well, as part of a bigger package of ITT reforms, the DfE has introduced a general mentor grant for the year 24-25. This covers 20 hours of training for school-based mentors, and this money can be used for cover, overtime payments, and for reducing a teacher's workload. To claim, schools will need to submit proof of a mentor's employment and evidence of hours of training completed. But don't worry, Ambition and your lead partner can both support you here. Payment will come directly from the DfE to schools, but it's worth noting that the General Mentor Grant will be paid in arrears. So payments for 24-25 academic year will be made between September 25 and January 26. Here are the figures for the General Mentor Grant, and I'll give you a moment to read these before moving on to some frequently asked questions. More information about the General Mentor Grant can be found in this document on the DfE's website. Here are a few frequently asked questions about mentor training. Firstly, will mentors need to complete additional training in Year 2 and 3 of the programme? And that's a really good question, and the answer is that they will need to complete refresher training in Year 2 and 3, but not the full 20 hours again. That is a requirement for the first year of the programme only, and it is something that applies to all ITT mentors on all accredited programmes across the country. The DfE has stipulated that mentors will have to complete 6 hours of refresher training each year that they continue to work with trainees. Another question is, what happens if a mentor cannot continue halfway through the year? Well, in this case, another mentor will be appointed, and then that mentor will need to complete the same initial training as the first mentor. Schools will be able to claim the General Mentor Grant for 2 mentors in this case, as long as both complete their training within the academic year. Thanks for listening. We hope you found this presentation useful. The only last thing for me to say is a big thank you in advance for all the work that you'll be doing to support trainees on our teacher training programme next year.